project to build my son a loft is on its way. So these are 2x4. They were by 8s, but I'm going to cut them down because I only want it 6 foot high. So I already got them trimmed down. Starting to sand it now because later you'll see I'm going to put them together this way so one's on top of the other. But I'll show you that when we get there. But I want to have it sanded down a little bit before I try to do that, so I don't have to worry about trying to get in the corners when they're butted up against each other. So this is going to be, one is the front side, one's the back side, cutting it down to 87 inches. So it's a 2x6 by 87. One thing I tend to do is take my scrap pieces and kind of jerry-rig how things are going to look. So you can tell on the bottom that this is going to be the front side. So this is a long one. That's going to be 87. Here's the 4-inch, so, well, 3.5, because there's that 2x4, 2x4 coming here. They're not together yet, but that's where it's going to butt up. And then this piece will be the short piece. And I measured out, and I figured about 42 inches. So that will give it about 39 for the mattress space to lay into, and hopefully that'll work. You gotta love the scrap wood. So I got my pocket jig and I set it to, on this side I went by 1.5 inches. I'm now gonna use 2-inch screws, and I'm going to do that along the 2x4s. So this is the piece. This piece would then be up against the long rail of the bed, and this piece would be up against the short rail of the bed. And I think I might go every 12 inches, do a pocket screw. Of course, put some wood glue down as well for the legs to keep it extra tight. So it might be taking me a little bit longer, but then at least I can get this kind of flush. So I'm clamping it down, making sure that I'm pretty flush all the way around. I started one end already. So I kind of started here, pulled it. I came to about the middle here, pulled it down, clamped here, and now I'm just going to finish off the ones I've missed, and we'll see how solid that is. I did not do wood glue with this, so I'm going to see how it is without it. One leg down, 3 more to go, and this is actually pretty strong. One thing I have noticed is some of the dust hasn't cleared out, sawdust there. So I've been taking my owl and sticking it in there and pulling it out, and then shaking it out, and you can still see some of it kind of sitting in there. So just going to try to clear it out some more. So since this is the front beam and the back beam, not the sides, it's actually going to hang over the edge. So when the side beams, it's going to kind of look like that. I'm going to come in about 5 inches, and then about 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 inches. I might go 1 3/4 inches up. Drill my holes and for the bolts to go through. Drills are made, so now here's going to be the hard part. I'm going to try to figure out how to hold this upright. Keep that so it's nice and level. I think I'm going to kind of line it up, clamp it down. Flipped it, got it lined up here. I measured about 1.5 inches, made a line and lined that up here. Double check my measurements, even brought in over the wood. It's still pretty flush. Not that if it isn't, not a big deal. So now I can finish drilling my pilot hole through this to go through the 2x4 behind it. Out of curiosity, I'm going to try to put this together before working on the other one. Here's what I have. It has a flat washer, a lock washer, and the nut, and then the bolt here. So the other thing I like to do sometimes to this, because I want to make sure all the holes line up correctly and don't want to guess later, is I put a number. So this is actually going to be on the underside, so you're really not going to see it. And then on the inside of this, I also put the matching number. It just makes it easier for that to work. Obviously, those numbers don't match. That's because I haven't flipped that board around. So I'll do that before I bolt it down. Right, not too bad. Staying upright on its own, so that's good. So now I'm going to lay it back down and measure on the inside here, going across, and then I'm going to cut my 2x3 that I'm going to lay right on top of this, because on that I'll put the slats that go across to put the mattress on, because I wanted just a little bit of space in between here and there. I'm going to go with 73 and a half. Sanded down and ready. I've already marked it every 12 inches. I'm thinking just one, but I'm afraid that I'm thinking I should have probably do like 2. So I might end up having to go more. We'll just see how flat I can get this and how snug it'll be. I think for this side, I'm gonna come either, I'm thinking 2.5. It still gives me an inch here. I'm just afraid if I go 2 1/4, 2 1/4 there, it's gonna be too close and too tight back here in order to get it tight, get the bolt tight. So 2 1/2, we'll give it a try. Lay it on its side. Now what we're going to do is got it all clamped down. We are level across this top piece. So now I'm gonna come in from the other side and continue drilling through into that 2x4 behind it. Oh my goodness, it's taken shape. This baby is actually pretty solid. All right, well, I got the support up 42 inches across. Try to get pretty snug, so I don't think I'm gonna screw these down. If it rattles a lot while he's up there, obviously I will. I just want this to be able to be taken down so that it all can come apart in and out of rooms. If he ever goes to school or college somewhere, hopefully, then he could do that. But I think I'm gonna add 2 more of these and try to put them, start here and then come out a foot, every foot put a slat. I don't know if that will help, but that's what I'm thinking I might do. I haven't measured up yet, but I'm gonna measure up from the bottom here. I'm gonna go up 8 inches and put this support, and I'm gonna go on the inside of these legs, and then I'm gonna do another one on the back here, going across the back part of this. I've had to move my system since the other day, so I'm gonna put another brace back here, 8 inches up, 8 inches up, and see how that works for some extra support. Totally forgot about recording this part of the video. So these are 39 across for the side supports, and you can see I've already bolted those in place. And then this guy is 81 going across, and ideally what I was going to do is on this side, or on both sides, I was actually going to have those butt up against each other. Well, I forgot about the bolt coming through, so we're just going to rest it on top. I've already pre-drilled the holes on this piece. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting it through here and drilling through so that the holes will line up a lot easier, because I'm not the greatest at measurement. So. Next thing I need to decide is how to do the shelving part. So here's the issue I ran into, is how this lines up, because of the bottom brace there. I'm going to have to trim down a little piece here, kind of put a block behind this post. But we had to decide which way we wanted it. I don't think I'm going to go this way, because then I'd have to take another trip to the hardware store. I'm actually going to flip this way. So the because this is a 2x3. So the 3 inch goes this way, and we'll attach it that way. I'll attach up there. I might bolt it down to the bottom, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll just attach up here and let it run down to the floor. Here we go. Measured out from floor to right underneath this rail, 69. So 69 inches up. And I cut a little board too that I'm gonna put behind this. Time to start cutting some shelves. So from inside to inside, we're looking at 39 inches. And then what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm also gonna put little kicker blocks here that I'll probably drill into this piece. And so the shelf will lay on top of it, and then it'll attach with an L bracket on my 2x3 that I'll have running down this way. That way it's resting, so if I need to remove this, I can pull it out and remove it. If it's too wobbly, then I'll drill this and screw this shelf down. Slight dilemma I came upon is the wood kept splitting. You can see down here, every time I would try to screw in my wood screw. So I went back to the hardware store and I got one that's a size number 6. So we'll see if that works. So for now, I've just kind of wood glued these down. So the problem was when I go to do these other pieces coming out this way, it would split. So wood glue won't just hold that one. Success. So pre-drilling the holes, I think, is going to help. So all of them are pre-drilled. And then what I'm going to do is start at the bottom and just kind of measure up as I go and plop them up there. Screw them in, and should hold nice and tight, and it's gonna rest right on top of there. Before I tack that guy in, I wanna make sure I can get my shelves in. So I got my L brackets over there. Well, the corner brackets, I should say. They're not L brackets. So I'm gonna measure up from the floor to right underneath here, and then I'm gonna put the brackets here, and then that way I can get underneath and attach them there. Shelf 1 done. Took a little while and finagling, especially when it came to the attaching the brackets there. I had a hard time getting up underneath here to do that, but I managed. So now I'm gonna have to measure up here for the next shelf, and then the next, and so on and so forth. All right, second shelf. So this is what I discovered. Before I put this brace in, I need to do the corner brackets first on the here, because I don't have any room. My drill keeps hitting this. So that side first, then this side. Something else I started doing is I got some blue painter's tape, taped these two together so it's easier to kind of hold it in place. I'll put a clamp on one side, pre-drill, put in a screw, and then pre-drill the other side, screw, and then done. Problem is having to change the bit because I don't have any quick changing bits. All 3 shelves are in. So I went 12 inches from this shelf to this one. The middle one, I'm at 22 inches. And then, you know, whatever this is, because the bed's going to be underneath here. The reason why I went bigger here is so that he's got a TV. He can put his TV here, and he can go sit over there and kind of take a look at everything. So pretty much almost done. I still got to figure out how I'm going to attach these guys here, up here. And I'll probably do another bolt down here. And I'll probably screw it in up here. That side, we'll find out. So I had an extra carriage bolt, so I put that there. And I was at the store getting screws because that was, was splitting. I also picked up a longer carriage bolt while I was there. They did not have one long enough for this side. This needs to be about 6.5 inches. And the store I went to didn't. The shortest, closest one they had was 8. I don't have a way to nip the end of it, so I didn't want it hanging out. So I'm gonna see if I can find a 6.5, maybe a 7 too, if I need to. But yeah, I'm kind of liking it. What do you do when you stain it green and you don't like the green? You sand it down and get a new stain. But this is, we're gonna leave some of that green in there. Let me show you this other board, excuse me, baby. So that some of that green is gonna show through with this new color. We kind of like how this looks, the two-tone color. Pardon his mess of his D&D, but we got it all stained and in here pretty high. I think what I am gonna have to do is definitely build some stairs because we're using a ladder to get up right now. I'm just starting to be afraid that this is going to give too much, and it's going to crack and break when he steps on it. So trying to debate whether I put 2x4s across there to go up, or I might make a little ladder going down. That pretty much concludes everything for the video of what I did, the steps I took. If you have any questions, please send me a comment and I will answer it the best I can. All in all, it was probably about $300 for me to create this thing for him. And I hope that you've enjoyed the video. I'm Coach Pirillo, reminding you to keep on moving.